Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Girl Talk. We've got a great show for you in store today. We are going to be starting out with not team talk, but we're going to be talking about the NFL International Series, which is super exciting. And then in segment 2, we're going to be joined by some of my cool friends to talk some crazy sports. And then I'm going to give you my top 5. So don't go anywhere because Girl Talk starts right now. Did you like that? I called you my cool friend.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back. Like I said, we are talking about the NFL International Series this first segment, and I am joined by Phil, who's excited to talk the Dolphins, and Grace, who's making her on-air debut. So how are you guys feeling today?
I'm feeling great, I'm ready to talk about my fans. Coming off a bye week, we got the Raiders, but let's go. Let's get it.
Yeah, I mean, I am in the Jags sweatshirt right now, but
You're a Dolphins
ultimately
fan.
have my heart, but gotta root for the hometown team.
My man's the Dolphins.
Hometown team. All right, so the NFL announced their international series. There were going to be 5 games that were on foreign soil. Now, this is nothing new to us. We've seen these in years past, and we've actually covered one of these games before. We talked about the Jags-Falcons game a few weeks ago when we talked about the Toy Story game.
Yeah.
But then we also have the Jags versus the Bills. That was in London. The Ravens versus the Titans. The Dolphins versus the Chiefs in Frankfurt. And then to wrap it up, the Colts and the Patriots also in Frankfurt. I want to throw to you, Grace, right away. Tell me about the game versus the Jags versus the Bills.
Yeah, so the Bills entered in that game as the favorites, and it was a Bills home game, even though the Jags have played there for 10 years now, I think, since 2013, I believe. And, it was a Bills home game, but this was the Jags' second week in London in a row. So they, came in for the Falcons game, stayed the whole week for the Bills game, and they dominated in the first quarter. And the Bills weren't looking super great. They lost Matt Milano in the first quarter, but they still were able to sack Trevor 5 times throughout the whole game. That O-line is not the greatest. But the Bills almost came back in the fourth quarter, but could not pull it off. Josh Allen just can't beat Josh Allen when it comes to the Bills.
I know, that's so fair. I also feel like a big thing that contributed in this Jags win, this 2-streak win for the Jags, is that they beat the Falcons so bad the first week that they were like, okay, we're here again. We're just going to do the same thing we did last time. And it ended up working out really well for them.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Like Travis 18, he had 26 carries for 136 yards and 2 touchdowns. But the thing is, I think what lost the Bills this game was Josh Allen threw the ball 40 times, but he was also the leading rusher at 14 yards. So, if you can't run the ball, I think in today's NFL, you're not going to win games.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They had a total of 29 rushing yards that entire game.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
Camden can do better than that.
I've seen Camden do better than that. All right, moving forward, we're going to talk quickly about the Ravens versus the Titans. It was 24-16. The Ravens ended up winning. This was the last game that they played in London before they moved to Frankfurt. Question, Ryan Tannehill used to be a Dolphin.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so he's kind of old, question mark?
Well, I don't know how old he is. He's probably, we drafted him in
Let me look.
2012.
Yeah.
He's probably 32, 33. I think personally he's just
He's
going to be a
35.
backup. He's 35?
He's
Wow.
35.
God, yeah, he's going to be
He's
a
getting
backup.
up there.
Yeah, I think his starting days are done, especially how Will Levis been playing, and you just develop around him. So, yeah, I think he's done.
I think, because I saw that Tannehill played, and I was like, why do I know that name? I'm not a Titans fan. And then I was like, he used to be a Dolphin. And then I was like, is he old? So obviously this was a win for the Ravens, but since then, do you guys think Lamar Jackson has fallen off?
Fallen off, no, but I want to put this out there.
Okay.
Y'all don't know this. Lamar Jackson got the same amount of passing touchdowns as Mac Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, that's. I feel like that's a crazy stat due to the fact that if you look at Mac Jones, everybody say, oh, he's probably bottom tier quarterback, but he has the same amount of passing touchdown as Lamar Jackson, what we would probably consider a top tier quarterback. So I'm not saying Lamar Jackson falling off, but what he does need to get together, because as a QB, you need to know how to throw the ball.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, drops happen, but you just can't always throw it to wide open receivers. You know, sometimes you got to fit in tight windows. So, but we will definitely see tonight. You know, the
You
Bengals
gotta
they
be
play the
able to-
Bengals. Yep.
Yeah. So now we're gonna talk about the Dolphins game, Phil. This is your
No.
chance. You've been wanting to talk Dolphins
You know,
all season. I'm giving you the opportunity.
got the
So
chance
tell
now.
me what went wrong here for the
our
Dolphins.
offense got stagnant. We could not push the ball. The first half was definitely bad on offense. I mean, I think we
0
was running the
points.
ball very decent, but you know, 21-0 going into halftime, that's just not good odds. And we had so many miscommunication. But I also want to give credit to also our defense because the Chiefs now always got a high power offense. They only scored 14 points the entire game.
Yeah.
Entire game. I don't want to talk about how, you know, they got that. I don't think Tyreek Hill caught that ball that they called a fumble. That's just me personally. He didn't have possession of it. But, you know, that's just for another day. But I think this was defensive-wise, it was a great game. Offensive-wise, we need to know what we need to clean up. And me personally, I think we need to just go back to the run because when we was running the ball good at the beginning of the season, which set up Tua for the pass, and he was getting these 300 yards, you know, 3-4 touchdown games. So we need to go back to that. Hopefully, we got Devon A-Chain back.
Yep.
So I like to call him A-Train. So, if we go back to that, you know, we will be good. We could play the Raiders, who when we stop Max Crosby, we in good hands. So, yeah.
Okay. So the last time the Dolphins played internationally was in 2021 when they played against the Jags, actually.
And the Jags beat us, I think.
They did.
Yeah,
and
they
it was
did.
really sad.
It was.
But
So do you think that it's just kind of a Dolphins thing that they just can't win on international
I can't
soil?
say that because I think we beat the Jets one time. No, we played the Raiders internationally and we beat them. So I'm not gonna say that, but I would say, you know, we're Miami. I guess we don't like jet lag because unfortunately Miami is at the bottom. So when it comes to traveling, we gotta travel. So it's definitely tough for us when it comes to that. But honestly, I imagine we may get an international game next year as well. I know the Jacks definitely do. They get one like every year. So
Yeah, I
we
feel like
definitely
I've
will
seen
see.
them every year. Okay, so I want to talk about the last game of the series. It was a really low-scoring game.
It was a horrible game.
it was a
Horrible
snooze
game.
fest.
I feel like as the last game in the international series, it was kind of a cheap matchup. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, honestly,
Because like looking at this list of games, it's the only one that I feel like I wouldn't want to watch at all.
Well, I remember like seeing this commercial advertising the Germany games, and they were like the Chiefs, they were the defending Super Bowl champions, and then the Patriots, 6-time Super Bowl winners, and that's like
They were promoting.
and I was like, the Patriots aren't good.
Yeah. Well, and then like yesterday when I was, or not yesterday, but the other day when I was looking at the record and like seeing how bad they were against the Colts. The Colts were what, 5-5 now?
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
I
5
think so.
and 5.
I think so. I'm telling you.
And the Patriots are 2-8. So like going into it, it's like, okay, well there's obviously a favorite. And then they both kind of played like
Honestly, hearing from a lot of Patriots fans, they actually happy they lost this game. So they actually won. Honestly, I feel like this upcoming draft, there's so many quarterbacks coming.
Yeah.
So if you're not able to get, say, like, because right now I think they're at the 3rd or 4th spot, I will actually get Marvin Harrison Jr. and then a 2nd round, I will get a quarterback.
Yeah.
That's me personally because if
As the Patriots,
as a Patriots, if I was a Patriots fan, I would get. They need a receiver. Like they got Devontae Parker. No, that's not working. I like Demario Douglas. I actually started him in fantasy. He did good for me.
Yeah, like
But they definitely need a receiver. So I would say go with Marvin Harrison Jr. Then draft a quarterback in the 2nd round. You may get. I'm trying to think what quarterback may go in the 2nd round. You could possibly get Bo Nix. I could see him going in the 2nd round. So yeah.
Okay, so I want to quickly, we're running out of time, but I want to talk about a little bit what this series could potentially lead up to, because I know that the NFL is planning on expanding and they have added both Spain and Brazil to the list of possible places to play these international games. But there are also, I mean, there's always been rumors of making an international team.
I don't think it's going to work.
You don't think it's going to happen?
No, that would be too much. Honestly, I don't mind them traveling over to different countries to play, that is just expanding the league in general. And to get other
Getting more
people,
fans.
and fans involved, because they are trying to do a flag football in the Olympics. So I think that's great, but actually having a team
International
based
team.
there,
That'd be a lot.
Yeah, it definitely will. Traveling
Well,
overseas
especially because we
constantly.
already have team like soccer and rugby. Those are all
Football's already like so much too, and there already is the
Yeah,
soccer
no,
I think
and all
it's
that.
really
yeah,
super
so-
complicated.
It would be nice. I imagine teams like London, they will probably love and welcome it, but in reality, that's tough unless we could find teleportation.
find a way to
devices,
fix it.
The
Yeah.
owner of the Jags actually wanted to move the Jags to London because they
They
had
just play better.
They play
Right,
better there.
They had a contract with them to play for like 4 years in like 2013, and then they extended that contract, and that's why they've played in London for like the last 10 years.
That's so
but
cool.
There's a lot of backlash from fans.
I mean, I imagine. All right, well, unfortunately, that is all the time we have right now. Thank you guys so much for coming on. It was really cool to talk about this, and don't go anywhere because we're going to be talking about some crazy cool sports.
Jack, buddy. Why are you here?
I don't really understand why I'm here. I got called a delusional fan. I just don't understand why I'm delusional if I think Kirk Cousins had the best mustache in the league.
Well, Jack, buddy, I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but I don't think anybody looks cool in handlebars.
But they're back, man. They're back.
They're not. They're not. Sometimes you just got to face the hard truth. It's right there in front of you. All these people, they're calling you delusional, but sometimes you got to worry about, am I projecting? Is it me? And in this
Let me
case,
tell you something, bud. It could never be me. Anything I say is factual and truth, and that's why the Vikings are going 16-1 this year.
organization, you have to look at your roster and say, I've had Kirk O'Duggins for 6 years. Maybe it's time to move on.
There is no moving on from Kirk Thuggins and Justin Jefferson.
Do you think that maybe this all started just because of a little disappointment?
Nothing has started. This is how I live, and I am not delusional. I'm a prophet.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. And for this segment, we're going to be talking about some sports I doubt you have heard of before with my friends Patrick and Camden. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, I'm just doing great. Phenomenal. Oh my God.
We're back. Oh, we're back. We're
Oh
so
my
back.
God.
I'm so
we
excited.
are so back. I'm
You should
excited to have you
see
guys here.
Me and this guy taking our notes last night in our class we don't pay attention to. It was just
Don't
all Quidditch
say that.
on the screen.
If you're watching.
I did not pay attention in class. Don't get it wrong. That class is boring, and I don't say
Oh
anything
my
to
God.
take that.
Okay,
Ooh,
anyways,
let's
we're going to
go
throw
back
it
to
right into our first sport. It's a little nerdy. We're talking about Quidditch.
Can I call you out?
Go ahead.
Kiersten is probably the biggest Harry Potter fangirl I know. Like, I just remember growing up that you were just always like, Harry Potter this. Like, I read the books, I watch the movies, so I feel like this is like right up your alley.
I mean, I definitely would say I know about Quidditch, the fantasy sport. I don't know a lot about it,
Oh, it's
In
just
real
you
life.
wait.
but why don't you tell me about it, Camden?
I know you guys know about it, talking about it in your boring class, apparently.
Just you wait. I was showing this guy highlights of it yesterday. So
Highlights.
apparently, highlights. There's highlights online.
Yeah.
You could play this in the United States, by the way.
UCLA has a team.
Texas has a team.
Texas
We're
has a
gonna
team.
go there.
never heard of it.
Wait, why don't we have a team?
Do you want to create one?
We can start.
God,
one.
make it.
No,
particularly,
no,
but-
no.
Kirsten's
no,
like,
no,
yes,
no,
Here's
yes,
the deal,
no,
though. It's
no.
not male dominated. You can only have 4 people of the same gender on the team. It's one of the only sports that actually has like integration between genders, which I was like, oh, that's cool. Like they're striving for equality, all that stuff. That's great. So here's the issue with the sport. Here's what's going on, right? It's different from the fantasy like one from Harry Potter that you guys are used to.
Because they
it's-
don't fly.
They don't
They don't
fly,
fly
yeah.
and chase things around. They're on the ground. And you have to keep the broom between your leg. So it's like you hold it with one hand, you got a ball in the other hand, right? And your goal is to put like a deflated volleyball in the hoop, and that gives you 10 points. Now there are like a couple volleyballs or dodgeballs that are red that you can throw at the person, and if you throw it at them,
What are they called?
To like distract
what are they
them.
called? I have no idea. What are they called?
Quaffles.
Quaffles? That was not on Wikipedia last night. So basically, if you throw the dodgeball at somebody that's holding the ball, they just have to like drop the ball and go, oh man, and walk back to their own side. And that's like, okay, that's cool, right? So
That translates to here. I'll throw it back. That translates to in Harry Potter the beaters because they have the people with the bats.
yeah,
And they
that's a
like,
position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're the ones
Yeah.
throwing the balls. Yes. Okay.
So it's 6 people on the court at one time usually, but the 7th, or sorry, on the pitch. My mistake. It's a seventh after the 17th minute, and that person is called the seeker. And then at the 18th minute, you know what happens in the 18th minute?
What?
The golden snitch comes out. And pretty much what that means, it's a dude that like has like Velcro to his back, and it like hangs down to like his upper thigh area. So like hangs below his legs, if you know what I mean, if you're catching my drift. And pretty much that's worth 30 points. You kind of want to be down in this sport. If you're down by 20 and you get the golden snitch,
You win.
you win. The game's
You win by
over.
10.
If you're down by 30 or more, it goes into an overtime period, and then it goes to like a target score, which is like 30 plus the team that's winning. But pretty much, crazy sport. There's some clean tackling in it too. Like it's more aggressive than the NFL in my opinion. Like there are some tackles I was like,
Whoa,
oh yeah,
slow
it would have been a
down.
roughing the passer. I showed Tyler Brown right wherever he is. I showed him a highlight of this girl absolutely nailing this girl to the ground, like tackling her after she threw the ball. No flags. The girl just got right back up and played. It was like rugby mixed with soccer mixed with Quidditch. I don't know. It was great.
You're having so much fun and you're really excited, but we can't talk all about Quidditch the whole time.
Ugh.
So I want to throw it to the sport that you were really excited to cover.
Can we go to him first?
You wanna go to
I
Patrick
gotta take a
first?
break.
Oh,
Okay.
extreme ironing?
Yeah,
Extreme
ironing. We're
Dude,
talking about
can we put it up so we can look at it?
ironing.
I wanna
yeah,
see
can we
what it looks
throw the
like.
graphic
Yeah,
up
so
here,
initially
please?
I thought that this was not going to be a sport. I was like, okay, whatever. They're just doing ironing like super hard, super fast. It was like, whatever. There's no big deal. But they do this anywhere.
Oh
It's
my
actually
God.
unbelievable. They're doing this like skydiving. I don't know exactly what this is plugged into. And they're doing this
the
on
thing.
their
That's a
lift.
good
I
question.
don't think
Battery
they're
powered?
That's what
actually
I was thinking.
ironing.
Okay, must be.
So what are
No,
they?
because a lot of the times, if you look in the highlight, a lot of the times the iron has a cord, and they're kind of just holding the cord. So I'm like,
Okay.
are
They
you
just have to do
actually-
the act of ironing.
I don't know.
like that guy's upside down right
Do
now.
they-
Well, I
grade
think
you?
there was also a guy who was like in like a river or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that one was kind of tame. I thought like that wasn't really that extreme. I think this is an
the
extreme sport.
skydiving one
This
is
is
Like
an
that-
extreme.
that
I
one.
would-
Like, can you
I
imagine?
was like, huh?
Do they grade you based off of how nice your shirt looks after that?
I
Like,
was
that's
thinking
I
that,
wanna
like,
know.
what if, like, it's,
Well,
like,
it
still
has to be.
wrinkly?
Well, then also you probably get some points based off of like how many, like how long it
Wait,
takes you to
why
do
is
it.
this guy bouncing up and down? What was that? Like,
I-
you just, like,
In
get up
the
there, iron
river.
the thing? Like, come on. What
Okay,
are we
wait.
talking
So
about?
they also do this underwater, and there's a record for the amount of people that
Oh
have done it underwater. This was set March 2008. Does anybody want to take a guess?
I can't guess.
How
I
many
saw it.
people
Okay.
ironed underwater?
Yes, it's a pretty ridiculous amount of people.
I want to say 6.
Is it in the hundreds?
No, it's not in the hundreds, but
I'll
you
say
would be
like
closer.
80.
You'd be closer
That's
than
really
Kiersten.
close. It's 72. 72 people simultaneously ironed underwater.
Oh, at the same time.
What is
I thought-
ironing underwater? The clothes are wet. They're not ironed.
know,
They're not
Lexi.
getting
I
ironed.
literally-
Okay,
I don't
we
know.
have to move on. We're going to talk quickly, Camden, about underwater hockey.
Don't
Which
say that
has
word.
another name.
Octopush. Octopush. I mean, how does
Right.
look at what they're doing.
Look at these
So-
sports.
so
This is kind of crazy.
Can I tell you the one thing that I found about this sport is I thought, okay, that's cool. I thought you couldn't breathe. No, you have a snorkel. Wrong. The snorkel is for when you want to watch the game as a spectator. Like if you're on the team, you get to sit up there and watch the game. They cannot breathe right now. They are literally holding their breath, pushing the ball, by the way, the puck is called a squid, they call it. So they're pushing the squid around with their pusher, and they can't breathe. Like how long do you think you can hold your breath without moving? A minute?
40 seconds?
Maybe a minute.
Like after 20, I'm like, I'm gasping for air. So like these people that are like swimming and doing all that stuff, they have to get right back up and come right back down. It's crazy. I love this
That's
sport.
exhausting.
Octopus.
Swimming is already a
Do you
workout
think you could
itself.
play it?
No, I can't swim apparently, according to all you guys. So I wouldn't be able to do
I
it.
forgot about
Yeah,
that.
there's a rumor going around. I don't know how to swim. Well,
You don't.
Well, I haven't seen it happen.
So it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. Yeah, this is.
There's a team in
definitely-
Seattle if you want to go watch.
I don't.
Except as a spectator, you can't see
You
anything
can't
because
see
it's
anything.
underwater.
So you're just staring at the
Just
pool like,
watching.
yeah.
Like, why do people play sports like this? Like, could you even get like a college scholarship for that? Because like it's not a thing.
Do they
really.
televise this?
Yeah.
On
I
what
wanna watch
channel?
extreme
ESPN
ironing.
8 to Ocho? I
Yeah,
would
the
too.
Ocho.
Okay, I want to throw it to our last weird sport. Patrick, tell us a little bit about the Rocket League.
Oh yeah, the Rocket League sport that's like in real life, cycle ball. These guys are on bicycles on this court, and it's kind of like football, but it's not really football. It's, you know, it started in the 1800s, 1893 in Germany. And it's been going on ever since. They have world champions from 1965 to 1988. Overall, this is, I would say, probably the least interesting of all of these sports, just because
Yeah.
this is kind of like
It's, like,
kinda
kinda
like
tame.
handball, like in a sense.
This seems kind of
But, like,
Real life Rocket
He's
League.
like has like the ball, I guess, like near his bike. I don't know if it's connected at all.
They like,
I
if you
would
look
hit
at
it
the
in the
highlight,
ball.
they like smack it, they like turn the wheels really fast
How
to
do you
like
keep
hit
your
it in.
body
It's
up
like
then?
foosball almost.
Yeah,
would
but
just
like on a bike. It's like,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I don't know,
popular
it's
in
intense.
Austria, Belgium,
We gotta go
Czech
there.
Republic.
we gotta
you
go
know.
there.
we gotta go there.
We gotta go there.
Field trip. We're gonna go play
the
cycle
Czech.
ball. Okay, well, thank you guys. This was fun. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I have one more fact to say about Quidditch, by the way.
Okay.
I want to say this. They actually have a governing body that creates the rules, which college football doesn't even have. They don't even have their own governing body. So good for you, Quidditch.
Quidditch
Good for you.
is
The
its
IQA.
own
Camden's going to
democracy.
start playing Quidditch now.
I know,
He's
he's
really
good at it.
Just wait.
excited about
I got a
it.
broom in my apartment. Let's go right now.
No, no.
Yo, I have one too.
Let's
No.
go.
We can run it.
No. Thank you guys. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
So, Tyler Brown, right? It says in my notes you're an Oklahoma fan.
That is correct.
So, let me ask you, bud. Is Texas back?
All right, I put on a brave face a lot, but this year, I'm really scared that they are, man. Okay, they just beat Alabama. They're gonna be top 4 in the rankings. And last year, they beat us 48-0.
Yeah.
It was humiliating. We're the Oklahoma Sooners. We were the best ever. We were talk of the town. We had Baker, Kyler, and Jalen 3 years in a row. And now, are we good? I don't know. We haven't won a national title since 2000. We're number 18, I think, and nothing matters, dude.
Sometimes we build up these walls thinking they're impenetrable. But sometimes you have to knock these walls down to build up bigger and stronger ones. And you got to be tough through that. It's hard being an Oklahoma fan at this time, but grass is always going to be greener on the other side of the hill, buddy.
Is it? I cannot live through a Texas national championship. I can't. I'll never recover.
Do you want to talk about Lincoln Riley?
What'd you just say to me?
I just want to know if you want to talk about Lincoln Riley.
You listen here, you court-ordered quack. You mentioned that.
Welcome to my top 5 this week, where I have some big milestones to present, as well as some crazy college news and an injury report.
Hello, my name is
Very
Ty
exciting.
Patton, and I am a
Starting out with
licensed
something
sports
that we've
therapist.
been talking
And today,
about here on Girl Talk, I am going to tell you about how the Gotham Football Club finally gets to take home the W from the National Women's Soccer League Championships. And I am proud to announce that Allie Krieger gets to retire with a W. Now, this was a very intense game, and it's definitely going to be remembered for years to come. It ended with a score of 2-1 for Gotham, but not for lack of trying on OL Reign's part. In the 97th minute, Mandy Hott, a goalkeeper for Gotham, was issued a red card for denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, giving OL Reign the opportunity to tie it. Now, unfortunately, they weren't able to bring it around, and Gotham was able to celebrate its first ever championship win in club history. Now, many of you who were wondering about Megan Rapinoe and her retirement, I bring you some upsetting news. In the 6th minute of the game, Rapinoe came out too strong and tore her Achilles, pulling her out of the game pretty early on. Now, it's not an ideal way to end your career, I'd imagine. Allie Krieger, longtime friend of Rapinoe, said that she was heartbroken after seeing this happen. We're wishing a speedy recovery to an inspirational women's soccer player. Now, keeping up with the women's soccer news, the National Women's Soccer League strikes the largest ever TV media rights deal, worth $240 million. CBS Sports, ESPN, Prime Video, and Scripps Sports have all been following the hype around the Women's Soccer League and have planned on making a deal to stream the games. Now, those streaming services will have the opportunity to nationally broadcast the games for 4 years. This is the biggest broadcast deal for any women's sports league. The current deal with CBS, a 3-year deal worth $4.5 million, expires at the end of this year, and the new year is an annual 3,900% increase in value. The next biggest deal is with the WNBA, which has agreements with Disney, Paramount, Amazon, Scripps, Facebook, and Twitch. Now, the total is somewhere around $100 million, which is still quite far from the Women's Soccer League agreement. This is huge for women's sports fans because it means that your favorite teams are finally getting their chance to step into the spotlight, and you'll finally get the chance to watch those games with more ease. Moving away from women's soccer, I quickly want to cover Texas A&M coach Jimbo Fisher, who's been fired from the school. But I really don't want to talk about him as a coach, more so the fact that he is going to be receiving a record-breaking buyout from the school when he's dismissed. Jimbo Fisher walks away from the Texas A&M team with the remaining $76 million from his deal, a record amount for a buyout for a head coach. Fisher was 45-25 in his 6 seasons at Texas A&M and had signed a 10-year contract worth $95 million guaranteed in 2021. The deal was made in part because Fisher was walking away from LSU, but now he gets to walk away with an incredibly large amount of money from Texas A&M. Sources say that the coach was checked out at the beginning of the season, and now he's gone. The real question is this a fair deal? Coach walks in with a big contract, doesn't improve the team much, and gets fired walking away with a large sum of money that arguably wasn't deserved. It's a sad thing to see happen to the school, but chances are this won't be the only time we hear about something like this. Staying in the world of college football, I want to talk about why Jaden Daniels is my pick for the Heisman Trophy this year. The LSU quarterback has become the first quarterback in FBS history to have at least 350 passing yards and 200 rushing yards in a single game. The game in question was when LSU beat Florida 52-35. That in total accounts for 606 yards and 5 touchdowns, making him, according to his coach, the best player in college football. If he wasn't on your Heisman radar before, he sure is now, and I would make the argument that if he keeps playing like this, he'll be a shoo-in for sure. Wrapping up with some NBA news, Kelly Oubre Jr., a guard for the 76ers, was released from the hospital after he was struck by a car last Saturday night. The medical staff with the 76ers has plans to work closely with Oubre and watch his injuries, but a serious accident like this will keep the player out for most of the season. He will continue to be evaluated until he's given the okay to return to the court. The police noted that the individual who hit Oubre fled the scene, and there's now an active investigation ongoing about the incident. Members of the coaching staff and some of the players from the 76ers were with Oubre in the hospital while he was being treated, and many of the other NBA coaches and players are glad to see that he will be okay. I hate to end this episode on a down note, but here's something else for you. Next week, instead of watching Girl Talk, tune in to Hitting the Field's Monday main show on November 20th to see me take everyone else down in trivia. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and decorate your place for Christmas. We'll see you soon. Bye!
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back, okay? Always locked in, I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, you